Just a note for those people who are watching on YouTube. The breaks are, you guys, for not coming, you miss all the hands-on, checking everything out. So coming to these events is a great way to do it. We will have more time afterwards for more questions for Devin, because I know that the freeze dryers are an exciting thing. But we are going to move on to dehydrators. So I know a lot of people have dehydrators, and I'm really excited to introduce you guys to Ellen. She's going to be sharing a bit about dehydrators. And a quick reminder, if you have any questions or even comments, please make sure you either go to the mics or put your hand up. We'll bring you a mic, because it is not recorded. So if it's not into a mic, we really, really want to record it. So please use a mic. Thank you. Come on up, Ellen.
Hello, everyone. How many of you have dehydrators? Oh, nice bunch. How many don't? How many know nothing about dehydrating? I don't believe that. You do know something about it. Okay, we have different models here. This is what we classified as a box shelf, as well as this one.
1 sec, Ellen.
Yes.
Your earring is rubbing on that.
Oh, great. Let's just take it out. We'll be a one earring person today.
We might have to.
Okay.
Otherwise.
Okay, so we have, these are what we call box shelf dehydrators. This one is stackable. So this one has little stackable shelves. And one option with, one good thing about these, they take up very little room. And you also have the option of adding some shelves. So you can make it as high, well, maybe not as high as you want, but you can make it significantly higher. So the only thing with these, they actually are not the best for drying meat, your meat products, because there's not enough airflow. And here with these, the air, your heater and your fan is usually at the bottom and flows vertical. So that's how it dries. These have the heater and the fan in the back, and it's all horizontal, the airflow. So it's the same as this one. Now you can get them with timers. Mine has a timer, and this one does not have a timer. So this one you're going to have to babysit a little more. I'm not sure about this one. This one does have a timer? Okay. One good thing about, these ones don't take up a lot of room. This is still fairly bulky, so it does take up a fair bit of room. So this is, I only know about this one, so I've only been doing this for about a year. So, and some things, like they all have mesh trays like this, and really easy to clean, right? So with vegetables and fruits, you're just going to put them right on the mesh. I do a lot of fruit leathers for my grandkids and my kids. So I use these sheets, and they're just washable. And you can also use parchment paper, which really works. The only thing with fruit leathers, if you're doing fruit leathers, you want to make sure that your edges are thicker all around the edge, or else it's going to get really dry and crispy, and you don't want that. So if it's a little thinner in the middle, it's okay, but make sure it's about 1/4 inch thick around your edges. And the fruit, I've never tried just plain fruit leathers. I've always used an applesauce base. I do my applesauce in the crock pot, so you don't need any sugar. It just slowly cooks, and the sugar's just really, just kind of fester there. And then you put vanilla in it, so it just adds a little more. So I basically use that as a base, and then I'll put like a frozen fruit, puree it, and just get all different flavors. They're actually really, really good. So that's kind of my passion. I've been doing a lot of them. And as far as tomato, like these are cherry tomatoes. I had an abundance of them. So they freeze dry really well, and they also reconstitute quite well. I actually just use all this stuff for soups and stews. I don't do a lot of reconstituting. Your harder vegetables, like your carrots, they should be blanched first because they're hard. And same as cauliflower, anything like that. Herbs do really, really well. I see Christy's got me some herbs here. Looks really nice, Christy, in these jars. Yeah, so this is lemon balm. Yeah, so a lot of these herbs can be used for tinctures, lotions, like to do with your tallow, I guess, right, Christy? Mix it with your tallow and things, or oil. Yeah, I want to do that soon. I do up like soup mixes, like dried vegetables, like green onion tops. I have beet tops, even carrot tops. If you run out of parsley, they are excellent replacement for parsley. So I do that as well. And then like leeks, yeah, basically it's endless. It really is endless. Now, the one thing about dehydrating different things, herbs actually dry best between 95 degrees and 110. Vegetables are 125, fruits are 135, and anything. I did my first trial at beef this week. It was really cool. I was so proud of myself. And so it's a little more work, and it has to be done at a higher temp. But with anything to do with meat, you do not want raw meat in your dehydrator. So what you do is you just cut it as thin as possible. If you have a roast, which is actually really cool, you have it half froze. So if you buy it fresh out of the store, stick it in your freezer for half an hour, just so it's easier to slice. And slice it about maybe a 1/4 inch thick. And then you could do a marinade, any kind of spice you want, but then you need to bake it in the oven for at least 10 minutes at about 350. So after that, you can load up your sheets. And it actually works really well, and it's done a whole lot quicker than what the book says. So I've tried that, but you can do any oily meat, like if there's a lot of fat in your meat, it doesn't work well. And you have to worry about spoilage, like as time goes on. One thing about dehydrating, it definitely doesn't have the shelf life like this special unit. I have kept stuff for a year, as long as it's in a sealed container, and I don't vacuum seal it. But I plan on using it within a year. And some people have kept it longer. I just don't really dare. So, it just gets used up. So, I don't know if there's anything else to really cover. It's pretty basic. And these, along with this unit, you get this book. This is a wonderful little book. It basically has the main things you need to know. One thing I forgot to say. I should have started out this way. Dehydrating food is an ancient practice. Like our ancestors have done it for thousands of years, right? They did it in the sun, they did it in the desert, they hung stuff over their fire. And, I'm supposed to look up here. Sorry. Here we have the middle one. Christy just told me about that one. That's one that you can actually hang, like near your wood stove or where it's going to be really, really dry, which seems really cool. So I might hook myself up with one of those. So those are basically the 3 different modern methods. But people also, they did stuff in the sun, like over the fire. And what's another way they did it? In a smokehouse, right? But now we're blessed with these nice electrical units. So, there's not a whole lot more to cover with it. It's fairly simple. And there's some wonderful books online for dehydrating. This is mine. I'm used to using this one, the Dehydrating Bible, which is really, really cool. Some of it's pretty techy in here, but it's not like I'm ever going to use all of it. But it is. It's a real good source. Christy really, really likes this one. So Yeah, so I think that basically covers it. There's not really a whole lot more. So I'll take some questions if you have some questions. If I can't answer them, Christy is going to field some for me.
For conditioning, I've read with dehydrating, like, so I've got a bunch of kale and stuff like that, and it says
Yeah.
you need to condition. Something like shaking your bottles on a regular basis when you first are closing them. What is that all about, and why do you need to do it?
Christy?
Like, are you talking about before you prepare?
No, like afterwards, once it's dehydrated, there's a lot of research that says you need to condition.
Can you repeat that into the, I'm listening away and I'm doing what other people, I asked you not to do.
So after you've dehydrated and when you go to put it in storage, when you first put it into your jar, you should be shaking it like every day a few times for the first little while, and it's something to do with the moisture, but it's not registering to me why.
So normally when you put your stuff into the jar, you're gonna turn your dehydrator off and let it cool completely. Like, I like to take my trays out and just put them on the table for a bit. Similar to freeze drying, you don't want to leave it for hours because it's going to start absorbing moisture again. But you want to make sure it's completely cool. So then when you put it in your jars, you are going to want to, like, I vacuum seal mine. So I put it in, vacuum seal it, and then you do want to check it a day or two later just to make sure, because if there is moisture, you can then pull it out and dehydrate it again. But if you don't know that there's moisture, there will be mold. So then you'll spoil the whole jar, as opposed to being able to take the stuff out that's moist, throw it away, and just kind of do a quick dehydrate for everything else.
So it's just for quality.
Yeah, it's just to make sure that the quality is good, that everything is properly dried. But you shouldn't have to shake it that much. But like when you pull it out of the dehydrator, you're gonna feel that it's dry. If it's bendy, it's, unless it's like apples or something.
I find the top shelves and the bottom shelves don't do as well when it's really loaded. So what I do a 180 turn every hour or so, just to or I'll shuffle trays around. And like this one has a really easy door, right? You just flip it off. So I do that. You just have to kind of keep an eye on it, like not all the time. Like, I go to work and leave it on for 12 hours, and it's fine, right? And it just automatically shuts off, so it's great. So I had another point. I can't remember what I was going to say. I got sidetracked.
Hi.
Yes.
It's not a question, but a comment. I grew up with, my mom was an avid dehydrator, so we have
Awesome.
like.
Oh, you have the commercial size.
No, like it's just all the racks you could imagine.
Oh, you have like.
From Harvest. Remember when Harvest used to do? Anyway,
Okay.
it works like a gem, and she did roll-ups for everything, and she's passed now, but people still talk about the roll-ups.
Wow.
Anyway, she did a great job and then froze them, and freezing them was the best thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah, they say like the fruit roll-ups you're talking about.
Everything, like all her fruit. And so she had them in little Ziplocs, whether or not you agree with plastic, but she'd do them in Ziplocs, and then little snack sizes, because she'd say, you don't want to eat 4 pairs at a time.
Well, no.
You want to eat like maybe 8 pair, but you don't want to have that
and that's
much
the
fruit
thing
in a day.
we get sidetracked with, right? You see a bag of fruit,
You just
keep eating, and then later on you're thinking, oh, I've just grown a little bit, right?
And the peaches and pears, because we had a couple pear trees, were the best thing ever. And then 10 years later, literally, we'd be pulling them out of the freezer, and they're wonderful. So
I do put stuff in the freezer after it's been sitting out for a little bit. I will put it in little Ziplocs. Like, they even say, like, the fruit roll-ups, even after a while, put them in the freezer, just to be safe. Right. Like, I haven't really put things like in Mylar bags or anything, because I mean it's just gone, right? And if I want to buy stuff, I just buy some more vegetables and do it again. It's just, so it's not a long-term thing really, but it's ideal. And I just love having all these little jars on my shelf, right? All the different colors. It's really quite something.
The Excalibur, I've noticed Costco's got it on sale right now.
Yes, this unit, I received this from my boss as a gift. This unit was $4.99, but they're all different prices.
I was going to say, is there
right?
any brand that anybody recommends?
Excalibur, I hear that this is one of the better ones. Because of the way the air flows horizontally, the air's able to get through. Yes, yes. So, I mean, I've had great luck with it, but like I said, I'm a newbie. It's only been a little over a year. So, any more questions?
Yeah, I have a comment about the Excalibur.
Yes.
For the past 2 Christmases, Walmart has had it on sale for $200. So
Like the 9 shelver?
yeah, that one right there.
Ooh,
So
my boss got ripped
hopefully
off.
it's on sale again this year.
Oh.
And then also I have a question about the fruit roll-ups. I just made
Yes.
some
Yep.
out of like autumn olives, but they're very sticky. Is there anything you do to make them not sticky, or
I have never had them sticky.
maybe it's 'cause you're
If they're
doing
still a
applesauce.
little bit sticky, I flip them over
Okay.
and just do it again for another hour. The main thing is get your sides thicker,
Okay.
or else they just break,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, and then it's just wrapping them in parchment paper, and yeah.
It was more of a juice when I put it in there too, so I think it wasn't like
Yeah,
a
if
applesauce.
they're thinner, it just works a little. Like if you do a total just fruit puree,
Yeah.
I find it's thinner. It's really hard to get that thick consistency around the edges. But yeah, that's why I use applesauce as a base. It works really well.
You can add pectin as well. A
Yes,
little bit
I
of
have.
pectin will thicken it up.
Yes.
But also, you can purchase, I don't know if it's actually from Excalibur or if it's just on Amazon. I don't know. But there's, I guess they're more like silicone trays you can put on top, and they have a ridge to them so that you can, these trays, if you put a liquid on, it's going to run over the edge.
Yes.
That has a lip so that you
Yeah.
can actually do like thicker fruit leathers
Okay.
right up
Can you
to
get
the
them
edge.
off Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're lovely.
So what are they actually called then? Like are silicone trays? Okay.
Say it into the mic.
Yeah, silicone trays.
Yeah, okay.
And they've got like, just a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch lip long, and
Perfect.
they come in multi-packs and stuff like that. So you
Okay.
can look at whatever size, like 15 inches or 12 inches, whatever you need.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great to know. I think I might hook me up with some.
Alan, can you show us the size of the different trays? Because that's important when you're purchasing stuff online. Make sure you know that there's definitely
Yeah,
two
this
sizes.
is definitely a smaller tray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never realized that those were a lot smaller. This is actually a really cute one, though. I like it.
So I think the small one is 5 square feet.
Yeah.
Because they're 12 inches each. The large Excalibur is 15 feet.
Yes.
Square feet, because they are, there's 9 trays and they're 16 inches, I think.
Yes.
So then it's 15 square feet of drying
Yeah.
capacity.
So it's actually a large amount of drying capacity. And these look a little different. Yeah, this one, because of the vertical airflow, this one looks like this.
So like with freeze drying, I know I have to completely make sure every tray is full. Like I couldn't put 3 trays in there and leave the one empty. Is it the same kind of thing with dehydrating? Do you need,
No.
if you're gonna have a unit like that, do you need to have every tray full, or can you
No,
just have a
you
few?
do not.
Okay.
If I do, let's say like last 2 nights ago, I just did 4 trays of fruit leathers because I didn't have enough product. So then I just I never do the top one and the bottom one if I can. I will just skip certain ones, and I just find it works better, and then halfway through maybe do a 180. Yeah. And then if they're not, like you said, the sticky you were mentioning, just flip it over and it works. Yeah.
Have you tried soup?
No, actually I haven't. I haven't done meals, anything like that. I just know like dairy products do not do well, like nut butters do not do well, even avocados, they don't do well either.
I did soup in my oven has a dehydrator feature on it.
Yeah, you were
And
mentioning that.
I did the soup. took forever. It felt like.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make different meal packs. So because we do a lot of Crownland camping
Yeah.
and stuff, so to make the different meals, that's what I'm wondering. Like, can you do that in the dehydrator, or what have you experienced with that?
Well, I've never actually done meals in it. Like I know in this book, it talks about meals, but not whole meals. It talks about adding certain dehydrated products. Like chili, that's like one of the. Yeah, I've never done it. I'm game to try anything, right? But I've never personally done it. I don't know if.
Yeah, I've gone camping and we did that a couple times where we just made whole meals and then we dehydrate them. And then and then I just did it was like rice and meat. I don't know, and then some vegetable in there. We cooked the meal
Yeah.
and then we just dehydrated it.
One thing with grains, they do say you need to have them cooked before you dehydrate them.
Okay.
That
cook
is
the meal
one
first
thing
and
with
then dehydrate it.
grains. Yes.
So back in my younger years, I had a dehydrator, the big round,
Yeah.
awkward one. We couldn't do liquid in them. I don't know about these, because of the airflow, because there has to be airflow go through. If you're doing fruit leather, clearly that's a bit of a
Yeah,
liquid.
it's basically, some of mine have been fairly thin.
But what I did with liquidy things like soup, so I cheat. I have a wood stove and that heats our house. So I'll open the wood stove oven door and set the stuff on that and let the heat flow from the oven dehydrate the soups.
That's a
And-
great
and
idea.
it takes a couple days.
Yeah.
But it doesn't cost me anything.
Well, that's it.
Because it's
Yeah.
heating my house.
Yeah,
So-
that's another thing. These are very, very economical to run. Just from this is it'd be an American book, but 3 to 6 cents an hour. So maybe like here, 10, 12 cents an hour, which is really, really cheap. So that's another huge benefit running this, either one of these. Yeah.
I just wanted to note on the machines, because I don't think you guys can see it from there, but there are, on the Excalibur, there's different temperature settings, so you can set it to what you want, and yours has a timer on it.
Mine has the automatic timer
Yeah,
too.
I don't.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't love plastic, they do sell this in stainless steel as well.
You
It's
can get
quite
the,
a bit more, but
but a good investment.
but it's a good investment
Yeah.
if you don't like the plastic. What makes me feel better about using it, even though it's plastic, is like I mostly do herbs and stuff. I have done like meats and stuff like that, but it's at such a low temperature that you're not really heating the plastic too much. But just so you know that there is an option.
Yeah, but even at a low heat, and I have like my apartment's like big open, so it actually heats up your house, which is really cool. If not in the summertime, but in the wintertime, it's actually, yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about things you should not dehydrate?
Things you should not dehydrate are, like I said, any fatty things, anything with oil, a lot of oil. Even some berries, like a waxy coating on the berry, it just takes forever. And again, dairy products, they do not dehydrate well. Although in one of the books, it does talk about a mixed yogurt, like with fruit, like a stirred yogurt, that you can actually put on a sheet, on one of these leather sheets, and break it in pieces. So I am going to try that, see if it works. But normally, cheese, anything like that, does not do well in a dehydrator. So those are the main things. Raw eggs as well. Raw eggs do not do well in the dehydrator. So, any more questions?
You said that you normally only keep it for a year, like the product.
Yes,
If you-
that's my,
Added oxygen absorbers, would it last a lot
It would,
longer?
yes, definitely. But I just kind of make it, I'm not doing it for long term. I'm just kind of doing it so it lasts me until I grow a garden again or when I get fresh stuff. So, yeah. But then it has to be in a really cool, dark place.
Okay.
And well ventilated. Yeah, you don't want anything in a damp place. So, Any more questions?
Sorry, my son just wanted me to add, I don't know about raw meat. Anyways, we use ours when we process our chickens.
Okay.
We take all the guts. That sounds really gross, but like the hearts, the liver, the lungs, and I put them on sheets and I dehydrate them all, and then
And they're raw.
from raw, yeah. And
Okay.
but you put it at the highest setting. It's 165, like it cooks it,
Yeah.
right? And then I use those as dog treats.
Okay.
Except everything goes. I put in jars and vacuum seal, except the hearts. I
Okay.
find them fatty.
Okay.
So they do dry. It takes longer. But then what I do is I just put those into a container and put them in the freezer. And my dogs really like them frozen.
Oh, that's
anyways.
that's awesome.
So you can
Yeah.
do stuff
Yeah,
like
it
that
just,
as well.
yeah, for the like jerky and stuff, you want to put in the oven first, it says.
Yeah.
Like just 10 minutes, right? Just
And-
to get the pink out.
Just to note, some things you definitely don't want to do in your house, i.e. chicken guts. You cannot even imagine how badly it smells. Onions, hot peppers,
Yeah.
Garlic. Just put it in your garage.
Yeah.
Or anywhere else.
I have never done them just for that purpose.
If you do it outside, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stay in the machine. Like, we've done some pretty rank smelling stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't stay, like, the machine doesn't smell like it, but your house will forever
Yeah.
if you don't take it
Yeah.
out.
I've never done, I've done onion tops.
Yeah.
I mean, you can smell them a bit, but very mild compared to an onion or garlic.
Onions,
Right.
not so bad. Honestly, like jalapenos, that one, it like gets in
Oh.
your eyes.
Oh, if you have,
Because it's taking
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
liquid and
yeah,
oils
absolutely.
and dispersing in the
yeah,
air.
absolutely.
It's not good.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, also it takes about 95% of the moisture out, the dehydrator, where the freeze dryer is 98, so almost 100%. So, yes, yes. Any more questions?